Good afternoon, everybody. I want to, just making sure I'm unmuted. I'm unmuted, looking good. I want to thank everybody that's in here right now. Eddie Lugo, Traveler Bus, Thumbcat Productions, Siegel Media, Meg from Meg's Fun Time. Appreciate you guys being here. Laura from Huddle Adventures. Of course, she would be here. All right, it is probably not my best research decision here, doing this on a Sunday, competing with the NFL of all, huge productions. Anyways, yes, I know a lot of you guys are watching football. I worked today, came home, got to watch the Lions lose at the last minute, like they normally do. The Detroit Lions, for those of you that are not football fans, they lost at the very end of the game once again. And as I said, I worked. We had something interesting going on here today. Our son and daughter-in-law had their baby shower at our house today. So when I came home, there was about 30 people here. The Giants play tomorrow. Eddie, all right. So you're a big Giants fan? Now, we mentioned it here before. I'm not going to bore you guys with some football talk, but I'm going to give a few seconds here. Hopefully more people chime in, get in here. Huge Detroit Lions fans, Laura and I. We grew up in households that watched Detroit Lions, and there's something unique about being a Lions fan. We have the Thanksgiving Day game every year, right? So it's part of the holidays for us being a Lions fan. So, you grow up with all that going on, and, it's kind of in our blood. So we can't help but not be Lions fans, even though we know what's going to happen in most cases with these games. Now, interesting thing for us is we both, before we got together, both absolutely, loved Matthew Stafford. We thought he was a great guy here in Detroit. So when he left and went to the Rams, we followed him. We're still Lions fans, all right? But we also are Rams fans. We're whatever team Matthew Stafford's on, we're going to be fans of his as well. So right now they're playing. So I've got one eye. It's not on the game because we got Lord Brady and Lord Rogers playing each other, so we can't get that game here. But I'm watching the score, tracking the score. So far, the Rams are winning, so I like to see that. So with that said, we're going to get into Go Big Blue. Hey, now listen, that's another thing that's really funny here in Michigan. We have college football rivalry that is downplayed by the Big Blue guys. They call Michigan State little brother, and that's been going on for years too. So I'm a State fan. Laura is more of a U of M fan, but I love Michigan State, and I always tend to root for the underdog. So with that, we have our second grandbaby on the way. Laura, when is the due date? Laura, tell us in the comments, because I'm a typical guy. I can't remember anything. I believe it's in November, and hopefully Aubrey isn't born while we're on a cruise ship, but there's a pretty good chance that might be the case. So we have little Braylon, he's 2 years old, and then we're going to have Aubrey coming. And, it's kind of cool because they're our two oldest kids, and they both had their first baby will be when they were in their 30s, just getting in their 30s. So it's pretty cool. They didn't make us grandparents at a really super young age, although I still think I'm too young to be a grandfather. It's funny how that works. Now, getting into the cruise news, what has been going on? Well, for the last 2 weeks, Fiona has dominated the news cycle just about everywhere, including, logically, the cruise industry. Fiona has, caused some serious issues. We had a vlog a couple days ago, and for some reason, it really started getting a lot of views, like in the last 24 hours. But we, in that vlog, I mentioned the fact that we talked about Hurricane Fiona, how it tore through Puerto Rico, and we talked about how it damaged the dock in Grand Turk. And I questioned the logic of Norwegian rerouting the getaway from New York to Bermuda to Canada, because the hurricane, Fiona was scheduled to hit Bermuda, but it was en route to Canada. So it did. It ended up going to Canada. And I don't believe the getaway stopped anywhere. I believe it ended up being a cruise to nowhere. I'm not really sure. But last I had heard, there was talk about them being unable to get off at any port in Canada as well. So it seemed a little, I don't know, guys, a little reckless to me. I think they should have just canceled that cruise. So anyways, now we have issues with the storm in Canada. The Atlantic coast of Canada created a ton of weather issues for them. And as we said in this vlog the other day, that it was going to be a historical storm, potential of a historical storm in Canada. And that is kind of where we're at now. It's a post-tropical cyclone is what Fiona turned into. And it left approximately 400,000 people without power in Nova Scotia. So, and there was houses floating in the ocean and stuff. So it's pretty crazy how all that, how these storms are going. Now, we got some updates. We got an update on Grand Turk. And in I keep saying I said and I told you so, and I'm not Nostradamus, but I did say that we'd see some itinerary changes logically with Grand Turk dock being damaged. Turns out Carnival actually owns that dock and that terminal, and they're the ones that are getting it repaired right now, and they are canceling all stops in Grand Turk and rerouting them to other ports through the end of September. There's a cruise scheduled to stop there on October 4th, and as of right now, that's scheduled to still take place. So they must feel pretty optimistic that they can get the dock repaired in the next few days. So hopefully that is the case, because as I said a couple days ago, the Grand Turk local economy is, dependent upon the cruise ships. So, they fuel the economy there. So we have that going on. So the Grand Turk port should get repaired, which is great. And Fiona, went through its path, but now we have another one. Ian. Tropical storm Ian, scheduled to be classified as a hurricane here shortly, is going to be over Key West. They're predicting by Tuesday. The governor of Florida, is made an announcement warning everybody to get prepared. And oh, hey, Jewish Redneck Prepper, thanks for subscribing. So with that, another one coming through. Now, this one, the interesting thing about Ian, and I don't want to pretend like I'm a meteorologist, guys, although I can make bad weather predictions as good as some of those guys do. Feel pretty confident in my ability to make bad predictions. The really unique thing about this one is it's huge. It's a huge tropical storm. It is 400 miles wide, guys, 400 miles wide. And it is moving very slow. A lot of times when you hear the wind gusts up to 120 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour, well, that's circular, right? So the wind's blowing in a circular pattern as the weather system moves. It's only moving at like 11 or 12 miles per hour. So that is, it's going to be. A lot of people get hung up on the category size, like is it category 4, 3, 2? And if you look at the charts, they're showing it. Now I'm going to have to look again. They're showing it is gradually the category getting reduced as it goes further north. But because it's so big, the amount of rain and damage it's going to create is still going to be devastating. So that's what they're predicting. And I'm going to go with them on that. Now, we have a cruise less than 2 weeks out. Less than 2 weeks out, guys. We are excited about that. I know I say we're excited 50 times in every vlog because we're excited. That's why. But we're doing a cruise on the Carnival Dream, and we are going to be sailing out of Galveston on October 8th. Now, we're flying to Galveston. May the airline gods smile on us. Talking to you guys, American Airlines, and they don't delay our flight or cancel it on us, but we are scheduled to touch ground in Houston on the 7th, Friday the 7th at, about 6 o'clock. So we're pretty, it's hard to get, put too much stock in it because we have had so many flights delayed over the last year that it's just crazy. We're hoping everything's gonna work out good. Now we are going to be going down there, and there's predictions. There's other systems out there moving, around, and we could possibly be looking at another storm system by the time we go down there. And we're going to be going in the wake of some other damage too. So this, Ian is going over one of our favorite places in the world, Key West, Florida. Who's been to Key West? Drop it in the comments. You've been to Key West. Hashtag Key West. We love Key West. We went to Key West in 2017. Fell in love with Key West. Laura had been there before. Laura has been everywhere. Laura's like, what's that? Carmen Sandiego, the lady that travels all over the world. That's Laura. But she went on business and only got a little taste of it. And when we went through Key West, when we were on the Royal Caribbean's Enchantment of the Seas, we did the trolley tour and really said, wow, man, we got to go back. So we did 2 other land vacations in Key West. Our third one was canceled thanks to COVID. If you're new to the channel, we believe we got COVID. We think we had the advance, like some of the earliest people getting COVID, because we got super, super sick in February 2020, the beginning of February. We celebrated our anniversary at the end of January 2020 in Key West. We came back. We had a layover in Atlanta International Airport. If you've been to International Airport in Atlanta, you know it is absolutely huge. All right, Blaine's been there. Anyways, we got super sick and the worst flu ever. And at that time, if you remember, we were being told it's not here yet, and that was the beginning of February. And then later they said it could have been here as early as December, and we swear we had it. And the guys I work with, I work in the building trades, and we have like the little, like, I hate to call it an office because it isn't. It's a room, and it's not very nice. And we have our space in there. We got our own personal space. We have like our own, like, it's like a workbench that I sit at. It's not so much a desk, but it's kind of like a desk. But we're kind of in close, contact. We're in this room of probably about the size of a big, like family room in a house or so. And there's like 5 of us in there. And I gave it to all of them. I came back and they're like, damn, Eddie, you got me sick. We were all coughing and sick for like 2 or 3 weeks. All of us were super sick. And guess what? None of us got COVID at any time. And that's when we found out we were essential employees, guys. I never knew I was essential to my place of employment, but apparently I became essential when the COVID hit. So we worked through the whole entire thing and none of us got it. And as you know, we got tested a lot because we cruise all the time. So with that, we love Key West. And when we went to Key West in 2018 was after there was a hurricane went through there, so we saw a lot of like trees that were broke and palm trees. And, those palm trees down there in Key West aren't indigenous of Key West. They brought them there. Interesting fun fact. So with that, we're going to be going in the wake of the hurricane, and that's what I was getting at. And we're going to be going to different places. We're doing now go to our buddies, Have Luggage Will Travel. If you look at their Dream vlog series, we're doing the same itinerary they did. It's an 8-day cruise. It does Nassau, Princess Key or K, depending on where you're from, and Key West and Freeport. I forget which order is in. Laura probably knows all of those. Hey, Dana, how you doing? Yeah, See, she said she thinks she got a cruise on a Panorama in December of 2019. I swear we had it. I swear we had it. You couldn't convince me otherwise. And I believe my immune system was built up, and that's why I didn't catch COVID during the height of all of that. Oh, hey, your executive producer is a Hemingway. That's cool. And them cats, they got a lot of cats there. If you know, you know. All right. So with all that, as far as the cruise news, I also brought up the story about Norwegian and their drink package price increase. And, I gave that some additional thought and looked at the numbers closer. And if you look at it, it really isn't a price increase. They're playing, like the shell game. Okay. So what they did is they go ahead and they change their Latitude program. That's their customer loyalty reward program, and increase their drink prices. And they give you these discounts. And depending on what level you are as a Latitude reward customer, you get different percentages off of the drink package. So technically, you're going to pay less for the drink package now with their Latitude program than you were before. I don't know why this camera is like zooming in and out, guys. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of fading in and out. I think I don't have my lighting quite right. It's kind of crazy. We got these real nice lights I bought off of Amazon, and I spend more time messing with those lights than I thought I ever would. They can go bright enough where you can like see my skeleton, or you get them kind of dim. I'm trying to find a good in between where the camera works well with it. So with that, the beverage package price increase in Norwegian, I was a little harsh on Norwegian, accusing them of price gouging. What they're doing is they're having fun with numbers. It's all about marketing, right? And the higher you go up in the Latitude program, each level, you get a bigger discount. I think at the highest level, you get like 50% off the drink package, which is pretty cool, because when you look at it from that point of view, it's probably less than Royal, but just a little more than Carnival. So it's fair, which puts it right in, in a good market price. But you have to sail, 1,000 days at sea. Now, I don't know what the levels are, but I do know this. After your first cruise with Royal Caribbean, whatever level you are, whatever they call that, you get 30% off that drink package. So that's pretty cool. So they increased the price by, let's see, $10. So they increased the price by about 10 or 12%, but you're going to get 30% off. So it's not that bad of a deal. We booked our first Norwegian cruise, the Vlogger Extravaganza. Our buddy Blaine is on that one. Eddie Lugo is on that one. So we are grandfathered in on the old price rate. Eddie Lugo's been on many Norwegian cruises. I don't know about Blaine. Blaine, you been on any Norwegian cruises? Let us know, Blaine. Good seeing you too, buddy. I know you were cruising. Hope you had a nice cruise. So that is a pretty fair deal by Norwegian, and I apologize to Norwegian for being a little hard on them on that one. But we're all at that with the inflation, guys. It's crazy. We went like 10 years with no recession, no really economic turmoil in the economy, and now we're paying for that, for artificially keeping interest rates low, the Fed low for so long. Now it's like coming back on us. So with that said, that brings us up to a more current news story reported 2 days ago. The Fed increased the rate by 0.75%, and due to that, the cruise lines, their shares fell super hard fought for the cruise lines because they're carrying so much debt. So the news of the interest rate increase, got stock investors nervous because they are fearing a recession. And believe it or not, these interest rate hikes are designed to prevent us from going into recession. And once again, I'm not going to pretend to be like some economic wizard, but that's why they do that. They're trying to there's too much money being spent, so they're trying to get less money in circulation. They're trying to slow everything down. So anyways, Carnival, Norwegian, and Royal both are carrying astronomical debt load right now. As of September 1st, they estimate Carnival holds 35 billion in debt, Royal Caribbean has 25 billion, and Norwegian owes 14 billion. The companies, respectively, the company's values in the stock market are about 11.01 billion for Carnival, 11.18 billion for Royal, and 5.61 billion for Norwegian. So you don't have to be a math wizard to realize that their stock value is approximately, one-third, less than one-third for Carnival, and it's low for all three of them. It's almost one-third for Norwegian. It's about 40% for Royal. So that's not good. You don't want your debt to be above the value of your companies on the stock market. So that's what we're dealing with. So what does that mean? Well, we got more bad news coming, all right? With the Fed, they came out and said that they are estimating that by the end of 2022, currently we're at a rate of 3 to 3.25%, and they are predicting by the end of 2022 we'll be at a range of 4.25 to 4.5%, a full percentage point above where we're at now. So we could close out the year at like 4.5, 4.75. So this is that's not good news for companies that are, carrying a lot of debt load like the cruise lines are. So the bad news for us is cruise fans, cruise enthusiasts, we're not going to see any really great deals on these cruises unless they really start struggling. If they really start struggling really bad, we're going to see some really good deals on our end, but then that's not good for them because they can't sustain their business model if they're not making a profit. So the losses from the pandemic are still, got them down. But let's not forget, they went into the pandemic with a massive amount of debt, and they keep building these monstrous cruise ships that cost billions and billions and billions of dollars. So it's just the whole thing is just it's complicated. So hopefully they don't price us out of cruising. That's my great fear is, as I mentioned in our vlogs this week, cruising is one of the most budget friendly vacations you can take. We have compared it to all of our land vacations we take since we've been married. Laura and I have been married to be 6 years in January, and we've been very fortunate. We traveled a lot, even though COVID stopped us. It slowed us down. It didn't completely stop us, but it slowed us down pretty bad. But we still managed to do a couple of trips during COVID. But compared to land vacations, we always spend a lot less on a cruise. And that's even counting flying. If we drive somewhere, it doesn't matter. We went to Traverse City, Michigan, and I highly recommend it. If you guys have never visited Michigan before, or if you've only been to like the Detroit area, you want to check out Traverse City. Traverse City is very, very cool. If you're looking at Michigan, is the mitten state. Traverse City is over here, like in this area right here, like the little finger, ring finger area right in there. Well, about right there. And really, really cool. Really, really neat place. It's a lot of, I guess I would say, there's a lot of charming places, a lot of really neat places. And you have, Michigan has, I believe I read, we have the second largest shoreline next to California of any of the states, the continental U.S. And that it's on Lake Michigan, which is really cool. And it's Grand Traverse Bay is where we're at. I actually, yesterday, I realized that it had been a while since we did anything with our TikTok. And I said, all right, I got to get in there. And for some reason, we got locked out of it. And I could not figure out how to get back into it. So I just said, you know what? forget it. I started a brand new TikTok yesterday, and I shared, we vlogged. We were up in Traverse City in June, and we vlogged it, but we never did anything with the vlogs or shared the vlogs. We came back and decided we weren't going to because it was unseasonably cold, and we didn't get to do any of the things we really wanted to do, and we did other things, and we let some people down because we promised we would do that. But you ever get you get disappointed? National Lampoon's Vacation, when they get to Wally World and they're let down, the whole trip, everything went bad, and then they couldn't get in, and they were just mad, and then Clark loses his mind and ends up, getting in by almost taking the place hostage. That's kind of like what happened with us. Our Bronco was scheduled to be delivered, and we were going to take the Bronco up there. We were going to go to the sand dunes. We're going to do all this cool stuff. We're going to vlog it all. The Bronco was like supply chain problem. Didn't get it. Then we get up there, and it was super hot all the way up to the day before we went up there, and we had a cold streak. And it was in the high 50s, low 60s in June up there. And we stayed in a beach hotel on Grand Traverse Bay, and it's a beautiful beach, and there's no one on the beach because it was windy. The wind chill was probably like low 50s. It was just too cold to go swimming, so we didn't do it. But we did get some really cool footage of other things we did. And one of the things is it was 10:19 at night, and there's a video on our TikTok channel or account. What do the kids call it? I don't know. That I shared, that I found in our archives, and the sun wasn't completely set at 10:19 at night, and it's just it's beautiful. You can see in the distance on the water just this bright orange streak across the bottom. So as far as if you ever, like I said, you want to visit Michigan, you want to go in northern Michigan, it's absolutely beautiful. We're the Great Lakes state for a reason. And I complain about the place in the wintertime because cold hurts and cold kills you when you're out in it. So with that, we have the threat of the interest rates going up, which will have an impact on the cruise lines, their stock value. And, when you're a publicly shared company, you got to do everything you can to keep your shareholders happy. So let's hope that they find a good balance where they don't penalize their good customers in the process. So I also, as I mentioned, we did a TikTok. I found a lot of really cool short videos. I posted a bunch of them in the last 2 days. I think I put up about close to 20 videos up on there, short ones. So make sure you check that out. Go to our TikTok account and follow us. I'll follow you back. You know how that works. And our Instagram, we hit 1,000 this week. And it's kind of funny because I've been obsessed with the YouTube channel since we really got rolling. We didn't get really rolling hard until August of last year. And as we progress, I put more and more energy into this channel right here. And I kind of neglected our other social media outlets. Facebook, Laura handles, and any of my uploads to Instagram get shared on Facebook, Huddle Adventures Facebook right away. In most cases, the reels and stuff they disappear. They go into somewhere, but supposedly they're shown on Facebook. I don't know how that works, but in the last 8 weeks, I put a lot of focus and emphasis on our Instagram account, and we went from roughly 700 followers to over 1,000. So I'm proud of the progress we made there. But these outlets, they don't really, the social media platforms, I call them outlets, they don't have a strong crossover. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but you can have a lot of followers on one and none on the other ones. It's just really crazy. And I'm not a big Facebook fan. Facebook, I use it more for keeping in touch with my huge family. I have a ton of cousins spread all over the place, and the only way I can keep in touch with them is through Facebook, really. And when I say keep in touch with them, it's just like see updates on, yeah, this guy's still out there living, and this guy's doing this and that kind of stuff. But because my aunts and uncles, they're all slowly we're losing them all over the years. And grandparents been gone for years. And so the only way we can stay in touch, all of us cousins, is through Facebook. And I made one of the best friendships of my life on Facebook. So I will always credit Facebook for that. And that's Laura Jean. If it wasn't for Facebook, we wouldn't be together. So I do like Facebook, but as far as for cruise vlogging, it doesn't work as well for me. So lately I've never sent friend requests to anybody. And, I've always had like 350, 400 friends on Facebook, but those are people sending friend requests to me. So over the last, I'm going to say the last maybe 3 months, I've been sending friend requests to fellow cruise vloggers and cruise fans in Facebook in my personal account, Eddie Huddleston. And my personal account's been growing for the first time in years because I've been actively pursuing Facebook friendships with people that share my interests. Most of my friends and family, they do not cruise, and they don't even know I do any of this stuff. Laura and I do. They know we're always going on vacation. They know that. So, but with that said, Instagram does have a better crossover for cruise vlogging than Facebook, in my opinion. And I see a lot of benefit with that. And I use it to promote our lives and all that. So with that said, we're going to keep looking at Ian, and hopefully it's less destructive than Fiona was. They are calling for some really heavy rain in Florida. As I said at the beginning of the open, some of you guys weren't here yet. It's scheduled to be over Key West, hitting Key West by Tuesday. Governor DeSantis is warned Florida residents to get their supplies all in order by tomorrow so they can be prepared by Tuesday. The federal government's already committed to aiding Florida to get through this. So they are predicting, due to, again, the width of the storm and the slow nature of it, you don't want a slow, giant storm. It's going to be around longer, creating more problems. And the rain becomes a huge issue, guys, because there's no place for it to go. We here in where we're south of Detroit, and I swear to you, if it rains for longer than like an hour and a half, like a good hard rain, everything floods because the infrastructure cannot. The sewers and drains just cannot hold it off. So we end up with streets flooded and everything. That's one of the reasons why I always drive a four-wheel drive vehicle, is to drive through, 10, 12 inches of water without worrying about, damaging my vehicles. That and then the occasional snowstorm. But honestly, here in Michigan, we don't get snow like we used to when we were kids. So it is very easy to. What are you saying here, Eddie? You're expecting Ian to hit us in Georgia. Yeah, it is. It's gonna hate to say it, but it's gonna hit a lot of states because it is huge, 400 miles wide. That is absolutely huge. And I'm watching the Weather Channel more now than I probably ever have in the last like 2 or 3 weeks. The funny thing is hurricane season's technically from June until like November. I never even thought of that. I thought hurricane season for some reason was like September, October, November. But apparently I was wrong. That's the Atlantic coast area. So I don't know how you guys in Florida, that's the one thing that, Laura and I we've been talking about wanting to live in Florida for years, and she did for like 3 years. We talked about relocating in Florida, and the hurricanes, they're serious business, man. We're kind of lucky here in Michigan. It gets cold. And we do get snow, but we don't get buried in snow. We do in northern Michigan. Northern Michigan, that's the whole nother animal. They get crazy amounts of snow, but we don't here in the southeastern section of Michigan. Not bad at all. So, and we don't really get tornadoes. We don't get the devastating, crazy weather that some of you guys do in the South. So we're pretty fortunate with that. But I know some of you guys in the South, you would lose your mind if you had to deal with the cold. So it's a trade-off. You guys try to convince us that you can't handle the heat. We're like, oh yeah, we can. Trust me, I love the heat. But it is because it's humid here. Because it is humid here because it's a Great Lakes state, man. We have a lot of humidity in the air, lake effect, snow, lake effect weather. That's what they call it. So with that, we're going to see what Ian does, and hopefully it doesn't, it isn't as devastating, and it's just, everybody gets wet, but no one dies from it. And once again, there's other weather systems out there predicted that potential weather systems that could be potential storms that they're looking at. So hopefully this stuff, eases up on us, and it's got to be hard on those people down there. And talking about the price increases with Norwegian, again, it's been rough since cruising restarted, and they started, stop the great deals. You just can't get the great deals like you got before, and that's to be expected. And then they raised the gratuities, and we were fine with, because we think the crew should get more money. But then you're talking about the Wi-Fi going up, and then some of the stuff they do, like Carnival, they increase the Wi-Fi, and a couple weeks later they're telling you, hey, sorry, you're going to have crappy Wi-Fi on these cruises, and we'll give you your money back, and we'll give it to you free, but it's not going to work. Dave and Brandy, that end up getting free Wi-Fi on their last cruise, I believe, to Bermuda, and I believe that was where it was. And they said they had great Wi-Fi on the Legend, which is an older ship, and most of the time those older ships don't get really good Wi-Fi speed. I think the modems on the ships aren't very good. So on the old ships, you get fun tornadoes. Yeah, you're in Texas, right? Cruise Nuts. And welcome to the party, buddy. I didn't say hi to you. That's what I got Laura for. And you guys are probably looking at me going, hey, I thought that guy wears glasses. The funny thing is, I've got old man vision, so I can see stuff like my phone when I hold it this far away from me, and I go, oh yeah, I can read that. But if it's like this, I can't see it. So I struggle I can't read the chat well when I have my glasses on. You're ready for it, Eddie? You learned your lesson with Andrew back in '92 in Georgia, in Georgia, in Puerto Rico back in '96, Sandy in New York City. Yeah, I mean, Eddie, you're doing it wrong, buddy. You're supposed to move away from that stuff. What are you what are you, a storm chaser? Eddie's like just chasing the storms, man. He's like one of those crazy guys that drives in the tornado, but he moves his whole house to the tornado. Love you, Eddie. Oh, hey, guys, we have a news update on, we were talking some smack here at Huddle Adventures on Tuesday about our upcoming cruise, the Vlogger Extravaganza cruise. Hey, bunch of people backed out of that cruise. They did, the money was due this week, and at least 25 people did not come up with the funds. So if you are sitting at home thinking, man, I would really like to go on a Vlogger Extravaganza and hang out with my two favorite Eddies, me and Eddie Lugo, you can, because they have some spots open because people canceled. So it is not sold out. So we should be, you can get in there. So anyways, we were talking some smack here about the go-kart race, and Brian from How We Cruise, he was talking some smack. He was getting real tough on the internet with us about what he's going to do to us in the go-kart race. And, Mike was excited. He was going to rebuild his go-kart engine. He's going to put a blower on it or something. So we're talking about running each other into the wall. Rubbins, it's not, he didn't bump you, he didn't hit you, he rubbed you. And Rubbins racing Cole, doing some Days of Thunder quotes. Guess what? The breakaway doesn't have a racetrack. So all that was for nothing. All these threats, and the loser was going to have to do a karaoke song picked by the winner, because if you ain't in first, you're in last. So there can only be one winner. So we were all excited about that. And then Eddie covered it on his channel. that there's no racetracks. So we're disappointed. Now, Brian from How We Cruise came up with a solution, and he's like, you got to go on to Bliss out of New York and New Jersey with us on a future cruise because they have the track on that one. So we're going to take them up on that because I talked to Mean Game. I got to back it up now, and I plan on doing it. And then Have Luggage Will Travel wasn't going to be in the race car business here. His big butt wouldn't fit in one of those go-karts. You know, he likes to call us the shorts. All of us guys wear the shorts because we're all like 5'8" or shorter. And yeah, he wouldn't fit in a race. But he told me, you better watch out for Brian. He's going to be coming after you. You know, he was talking us up. So we were going back and forth, having fun with it. So we are very disappointed we're not going to get to do the race. And but we'll do something else. We're going to have a lot of fun on that cruise. I'm so happy that we all got a chance to meet each other on our channels and each other's lives, and we become friends because now we get on the Vlogger Extravaganza, we know each other. So when everybody's running to look, you know, see the big channels that are going to run right by us, who are you guys? You know, because they want to go see Para DJ and EECC and Sharon at Sea and Josh Hokum and all these other channels. Oh, Tony. Hey. Tony Lolito Loco. Those guys. Because, you know, all of us together don't have a quarter of the subscribers that like Tony has. So now we got each other. So we can be our own little fan group with each other, which is going to be really, really cool. And we're excited about it. So with that said, hey guys, I want to thank you for tuning in here. And any of you guys got anything you got to say, anything about these storms? I know people are talking about the storms have been stuck in. The star fan struck. Yeah. You know, it's going to be a crazy cruise. It really is. It's going to be, it's going to be, I just picture no matter what you're doing, there's going to be people behind you vlogging, like in the background, or people are going to be watching you trying to figure out which channel you are, you know, especially guys like us that aren't as well known. They're going to be, you know, wondering who we are and trying to figure out who we are. And it almost reminds me of one of those things where they'll go, oh, wait, yeah, that's a vlogger. Oh, it's nobody. You know, just go right on by us, which is fine. I'll be honest with you. I personally, and Laura, we feel the same way. We're pursuing this. We're taking this very serious, and we want to grow our channel as big as we can get it. Just because if you're going to spend all this time doing vlogs, you want people to watch them, right? We're not doing this trying to get rich, guys. You're not going to get rich running a cruise vlog channel. The biggest channel on cruise channel on earth is our buddies Tips for Travelers, Gary Bembridge, the most classy cruise vlogger in the world. He has over 300,000, and you're not gonna get rich with 300,000. There's kids that open up, like, do toy presentations where they open up a new toy that have millions of followers. There's gaming channels with millions of followers. There's wrestling channels where people just talk about the WWE that have millions of followers. So this is a wrong thing to be into, the wrong niche to be in if you're trying to become independently wealthy. So the pursuit of money has nothing to do with us at all. Would we like to make some money? Well, hell yeah. Who doesn't want to make money? I'm not going to turn down money. But that isn't, you know, what's motivating us. I saw that you have to have 100,000 subscribers to be verified on YouTube. That's just to be verified. Some people say you're considered a small channel if you are under 100,000. I've heard that number could be 50,000, but we're talking that's going to take a lot of time to get to that kind of level. So do I expect that to happen? No. Would I like it to happen? Yes. But I also like the fact when we go on a cruise, we might run into 2 or 3 people that recognize us, and it's really cool. They come up to you and say, hey, and we can sit there and talk to them as long as they want, because we don't have a line of people waiting to talk to us. And we're like, hey, and they like it and we like it, because it's like, hey, we truly, when I say on our channels, in the comments and the description. We truly appreciate your support. We appreciate you watching us. I mean it. Laura means it. It means the world to us that people are watching us. We really appreciate it. So it's nice when we are on a cruise, we're never going to be overwhelmed by the number of people that are coming up to us. Now, the vlogger extravaganza, my goodness, it's going to be crazy. But I'm going to take you guys along. You guys that are not going, you're going to get to see it a lot because I am not shy. Laura isn't shy. And we know all those guys, those big channels. So we're going to be there with them. And we're part of the Sharing at Sea group cruise. So we look forward to, you know, hanging with those guys and doing group excursions with them. It's going to be really cool. Brian and Julie from How We Cruise are part of the Sharing at Sea group too. So it's really cool. That's going to be neat. But here's something. The celebration cruise in November, the U.S. inaugural cruise, there's going to be a ton of vloggers on that one as well. So we're going to get a preview of what that's like before we do the vlogger extravaganza, because that is going to be off the hook. That's going to be a crazy cruise as well. And if you're not on it, tune in because we are going to bring it to you. And you're going to get a taste of what we're going to do on our next cruise on the Dream, because we're going to turn it up. I'm going to do a much better job vlogging. There's going to be tons of shorts, a lot of funny stuff. We shared I made like a little blooper reel that I shared earlier this week. You know, I'm doing a room tour. I'm being as professional as I can. It's our first time cruising as a vlogger. And I watch tons of vlogs where everyone goes, "No, watch your step when you go into the bathroom because you'll trip if you don't watch your step." I go in there holding my camera and I trip over the threshold. And I try to play it off. I didn't fall down. You know, I caught myself. I had the reflexes of a cat. I caught myself, a thumbcat, but I could not help but laugh at myself. So you hear me laughing at myself, and then trying to get my composure back. And then I'm like, I kind of blew that one. I go, "Hey, watch your step. You can trip there." And then Laura is like quiet for a second, and then she just belly laughs. And then I cut that, you know. So I saved that and put that in there. And there was something else. Oh, our first time doing a from the cruise ship vlog on embarkation day on our balcony. The one of the high-lows that's loading the truck had bad brakes, and the guy stopped, and the brakes just squeal right at the beginning of our open. And I'm just like, you know, did you hear that? And it's just funny how that stuff happens, you know. So we decided, now moving forward, I'm going to save all the dumb stuff, the funny stuff, and we're going to start showing more bloopers because God knows I make a lot of mistakes, and there's a lot of goofy stuff that we both do, and we don't care sharing about our funny stuff. So we're going to get all that, but again, we're going to turn it up and get ready for that. So we're really fortunate, guys, because we got a lot of big cruises coming up. And we're going to take you along. I know this isn't cruise news related, but it's news about our channel. And I just want to keep you guys up to date on what is going on with us, because sometimes we don't really get a chance to get into everything. One of the things we love about our live is we get to bring our friends on that we admire and channels that we really like. And we get to show you guys what they're like. And we get to ask them a bunch of questions. We try to ask thought-provoking questions, interesting questions about our guests, so that it draws you in and makes you like them, you know, and makes you want to follow them. And that's our goal, doing those. But we don't get as much of the chit chat back and forth that like most channels get that don't bring guests on week after week after week. So we've talked about maybe we should do a guest every other week, but we have a bunch of people that want to come on, believe it or not. And we laugh about that. We're like, hey, they actually want to be on our show. And we have people contacting us. In the beginning, we were contacting people. Now we have people reach out to us, and we're going to have them all on. There's people that are in this live right now that are going to be on future lives with us. So we like that. So that's why I'm kind of touching other things, mentioning things. Now, before I get off here, I want to tell you guys a decision we made this week. actually, it was ongoing. It's something I've been thinking about since we started it. We started a membership option for our YouTube channel. We have some people want to, contribute because, going on cruises is fine everywhere, putting this content together. It does cost money, but we've never asked for money, right? And we don't. If people want to donate money to us, that's fine. But we'll never ask you guys to give us anything. We're not like that. But we decided, we'll do a membership thing because we thought we'd be able to do exclusive membership content. And I got it set up and started, and then Laura and I talked about it. And, a month went by and we did not do any membership content. Meanwhile, we are signing up for other people's membership accounts. And we're not looking at any of their membership content because we can barely keep up with our friends' regular content, let alone membership content. So your friend you're following ends up being like 2 channels now because you're following their main channel, then you're following their membership content. And if you're doing that, then that's one less channel you can pay attention to out here that, so it becomes this trade-off, right? And I keep telling you guys, I spend time watching, if I'm watching YouTube, I'm watching YouTube vlogs about developing your YouTube channel, editing, stuff like that. Or I watch other news channels to see what they're doing and saying about different stories and stuff to stay on top of what everybody else is doing, kind of thing. And I do take inspiration from Tony. I'll try to be like Tony, never will, but I think Tony's awesome, and I like to watch his stuff. He's a lot of fun, but I don't watch as many vlogs as Laura does. Laura has YouTube on in the background on our TV while she's in her office. She has it muted and she'll turn it on when there's nothing going on, where she's not on a call or something. And she is on top of all that, and she has time to do the membership content stuff. So long story short, we were subscribed to several channels. We had our membership content. We had 2 members signed up, and we had no content yet. And I did not want to continue taking membership fees without membership content. And Laura and I couldn't agree on what we should do as content. And then I don't like that thought of just producing stuff that only people that have money can see, right? I want to produce content that anyone can see for free. So I told her, I said, I actually made the decision before talking to her. Did it early in the morning while she was sleeping. And I ended our membership option from our account. So there's no more Huddle Adventure membership. We have no members. We will have no members on YouTube. And after we talked, we decided we terminated all of our membership agreements with other channels at the same time. Now, this is going to upset some people probably, potentially, but we looked at how much money we gave in super chats prior to doing memberships. And a couple of the pages that we were, channels that we took memberships in, we stopped doing super chats because we're members of their channel. So we're giving them like $5 a month. And one channel, we gave $30 in like a 6-week period of time. And now we're only giving them $5 a month. So that results like $7.50 in the 16 in a 8-week, what is it? A 6-week, 6-week period of time, a month and a half. So we started looking at it. We're like, we prefer to do super chats. We think the super chat is a real nice thing to do because they're live, they're on air, they're talking, they're doing what they're doing, and you're saying, hey man, we appreciate you, boom, and you throw it out there. And we think that's really cool. So that's what we're going to do. The other problem is we are friends with too many channels, guys. We would be having membership fees to potentially 100 channels, $5, $10 each. That adds up, man. That ends up being a lot of money. And as I said, we can't keep up with membership content. We struggle to keep up with everybody's regular content. So I hope you guys understand. And if you're watching this, we mean no harm by what we did. And it's not a matter of us trying to save $5 a month. That's not what it is. It's the integrity of the entire process. If I say I'm a membership to your channel, I'm going to watch your membership content. And if I can't watch your membership content, I'm not going to be a member because you're making that content for members and I'm not watching it. So I would rather just be free of that agreement and throw you a super chat for 10 bucks, 20 bucks here and there. And you'll get more money from us that way. And it's just something less we have to stress over because we feel bad. I feel bad if I miss any of your lives. I feel bad if I don't watch your latest vlogs, and I don't want to feel bad, right? So that's another thing. So with that said, if you have membership, is an option on your channel, I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying it doesn't work for us and how we look at things. So, and Pear DJ came out and made a comment. Jay did. Someone was real snarky on the Pear DJ community group, and he came out and made a comment, replied back to the individual. And while he was crafting his individual, the response to that individual, the individual gave it a second thought and deleted their comment, but he just went ahead and posted it anyways. And he addressed the fact that they have never, ever had paid content on their channel. And it's just ironic because I read that like a couple weeks after thinking about this whole thing and about how it didn't settle well with me as well. And I'm like, looking at it. Now, if you watch a Pear DJ live, they have 1,000 people in there, guys. And they are, hey, thank you, Howie Cruz, Mike. Thank you, $5 super chat. Let's see if we can do something here. Yeah, hey, buddy. So anyways, that's all I'm saying. He came out and said that, and then several people that we know reached out and said, hey, did you see that? And yeah, we admire that. And like he said, they get a lot of money donated to them in every live. So most of you guys have been to Pear DJ's lives. You'll be sitting there watching $10, $5, $20, $10, $5, $20. And it's just going across the screen. You're just going, wow, man, that's crazy. But when you stop and think about it, he pointed out they worked their butts off for the last 5 years doing all this vlogging. And they reached a point now where all of this is paying off. And it had to do with the fact that they got upgraded to a suite for free. They got a free upgrade with one of the cruise lines. I forget which one it was. I think it was Celebrity. I can't remember which one it is. Laura will tell you. So they got an upgrade, and then someone's like, it must be nice kind of comment. So like I said, they came back with that. And I thought that was a pretty cool thing. He doesn't have time to do membership only content. That guy's got so many cruises, and he does the vlogs, and he has got a system down. And quite honestly, I see him as the pioneer of the cruise vlogging. Now, I think the Royal Caribbean guy, the one that was, I believe he's Mike from Royal Caribbean blog that Howie Cruz had on. I think he was doing it before they were, but the way Jay does it, the day 1, day 2, day 3, the whole process, what do we eat for breakfast? What do we eat for lunch? What do we do? Doing the step-by-step, the menus and the excursions and all that, everything they do, cruise after cruise after cruise after cruise. We're all just following them. We really are. They are just, they are a force in the cruise vlogging sphere. And they're huge. They're huge influences. And it's kind of crazy that they don't have 150,000 subscribers. We never understood that. And I think I mentioned on here before that they were right around 20,000. And then they got, D got COVID on one of their cruises. And when that happened, it was shared on some national media platforms, news platforms reported on this. And we watched them go up over 30,000 in a period of, I want to say like 10 days. It was like incredibly huge spurt of growth from like 20,000 to 32,000. And I thought for sure they would just keep spiking right up there. And I think now they're about 55,000, which is still incredible. Nothing to sneeze at. But there's other channels out there, and you just wonder why aren't they up there with those guys? But they will be eventually, because they produce a very high quality consistent product, and they're really super sweet, nice people. And one of the things too, and I'm gonna get off here. I've been on here too long with you guys. Eating up your football Sunday. The Jacksonville Jaguars are beating the Chargers 38-10 right now. They are just, they're just, like I said, they're super good at what they do, and they've set the bar high for everybody. And we really appreciate the way they've done it, and it's really cool. There's other channels out there that do really similar to what they do, but they have a different way of delivering it, right? J&D, they do not do anything. They don't lead with negativity. They don't have thumbnails that say, "Wait till you hear what happened to us on this cruise. We'll never go on this ship again." They don't do that stuff. They don't do any of that. They don't do none of the gimmick clickbait stuff. And you look at that and you go, well, what is their secret? Well, they're authentic. They're likable, and it's just, more power to them. I think they're great. But every channel has the big channels all have a lot of their personality in it. And Josh from Have Luggage Will Travel, he likes to say that we're all doing the same thing. None of us are reinventing the wheel. All we do that's different, truly different, is we put our personalities, our unique personalities behind what we're doing. So with that said, I'm going to thank you guys for, being here on NFL Sunday. Really appreciate it. See the world with Chris. Thanks for coming in here. I got my boss is in here in the chat handling business. I keep telling her if she would be in more vlogs, we would have a lot more subscribers, because she's a lot more likable than I am. Oh, there he is. There he is, Brian. Good thing you're here, buddy. I was talking bad about you, not for not being here, but for talking all that smack about how you're going to be this second coming of Dale Earnhardt in the go-kart races we can't have because there's no track on the breakaway. So all that smack talk for nothing. But now we're going to go on to Bliss with you at some point in the future. And like I said, you guys, man, I forgot to mention, our guest Tuesday is going to be Josh and Chastity Moonlight Adventures. And we're really excited to have them on board. We got a big channel lined up for, I believe it is, let me double check here, guys. October 4th. Okay. We have a big channel that has committed to coming on, and we made this deal with them, I want to say about 5 weeks ago, right? After like our second or third live stream, we reached out to them and said, hey, we want to get you on. And they've been very, very busy, and they committed to coming on October 4th. We're hoping that they stay on schedule with that. And if they do, it's going to be a really, really cool live. And I'm not trying to take thunder away from Moonlight Adventures, but I'm just letting you guys know, because there's a couple of you guys out there that we want to have on like really soon. And so we got that spot is taken. And then the Tuesday after that, we are going to be on a cruise ship. Yeah, boy. That's why we do all this. We're going to be cruising, and we're excited about that. As always, we're excited about everything. I got to come up with a new terminology for being happy and elated and just fired up. But we will be on a cruise ship, so we will have no lives that week. No structured lives. We're going to go live, though. We're going to start doing that on cruises whenever we can get a signal strong enough. We're going to do that, even if there's only a handful of people in there. I don't even want to tell you who it's going to be yet, because I don't want to come off as being, a knucklehead. And I don't want to, I want to make sure they're still on board with coming on. And we're going to reach out to them hopefully before Tuesday, because I want to announce it after at the end of our live on Tuesday who the special guest will be. And so we're 9 days out to them coming on the channel. And there's another big channel that we love that is going to come on after the first of the year. We have a commitment from this channel as well. They are just really super swamped, and they cannot commit until the first of the year. So I'm going to reach out to this individual. It's a one person. So you guys, I know you're thinking you're going to guess at who it is, but you're not. You're going to be wrong because I have not mentioned this person, their channel. But we have an agreement. I'm going to reach out to them after the first of the year, and we're going to see a good Tuesday for them. And they are also super awesome. So we are going to always continue to have small channels and, you know, intermediate channels. And if we can get a big one once in a while, we're gonna bring them on. Because you know why? We've run into small channels that shun the big channels. And we don't understand that. It's just crazy. They're like, yeah, all their followers, they follow them. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. They got, you know, groupies, and I don't want no part of that. You know, it's like, oh my goodness. If those big channels weren't out there, none of us would be here right now. It's like a teenage kid saying, you know, you guys suck as parents. And you're going to look at them, well, you suck then because you came from us, you knucklehead. It's kind of the same type of approach. It's like, I get it. You're peanut butter and jelly, and that's how you're handling it. And that's fine. But, you know, it's kind of silly, you know. We're cruise vlog fans, right? Or we wouldn't be cruise vloggers. So we're going to try to, like I said, we're going to try to constantly, you know, bring a mix to the channel. And eventually maybe we'll do a week or two here and there where we don't have anyone on, so you could get a better feel for how really goofy we are, Laura and I. Oh, Have Luggage is here. Look at this. These guys are coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden. Now that I'm getting ready to get off the air. See, I don't have Laura here kicking me under the table. It's kind of weird. I'm unsupervised. She's in the chat, though, virtually watching me in the chat. But she's had a very busy day, guys. A very busy week and a half or two. We decided to host a baby shower here today, guys. A massive baby shower here for our second grandkid who is coming, and Aubrey. And it was a pretty big undertaking. And, you know, I hate to keep getting into it, but I work 7 days a week. And our basement, we have a huge basement, and it's finished. It's super nice. We bought the house. We pictured ourselves entertaining down there all the time, and it just has not panned out that way because there's not a lot of time for entertaining. When you get a free minute, you go jump on a cruise ship. So we had to scramble to get everything ready for this thing. And man, our Christmas decorations were all down there, stacked up neatly and nice. But in the area, in the finished portion of our basement where we had all the tables and where we do all the entertaining around our bar and everything. So I had to get all that stuff stored away in its proper location, only to be dragged back out in 2 months from now. I'm going to have to drag it all back out and get decorated for Christmas. We had all that going on. We have an attached garage, and the attached garage had, you know, organized, but a lot of organized, almost not like quarters. Like we don't need to go on A&E and get help from specialists or anything, but I had to do some cleaning and getting things straightened out. And Laura, you know, had to get everything ready. And we had it, we didn't prepare food, which is a good thing. We basically had it, I guess technically catered, but, you know, we ordered food ahead and picked it up. And she did a wonderful job. I came home from work and we were mid baby shower, people, you know, playing baby shower games to the death to win baskets of prizes in our basement. Lots of people, cars parked up and down the street. And yeah, it was really, really nice. She really worked really hard. And I appreciate how, you know, she takes care of our kids and does such an awesome job. She is an awesome wife, an awesome mother, and an awesome grandmother. And we're all blessed to have her in our lives. But they all got to thank me, the ones that I brought in, because I picked her. So, anyways, yeah, I appreciate her being here and keeping everything held down. You know, we're not getting, when we only got like 6 people watching your lives, you ain't got to worry about the sex bots and all that spam stuff. I do notice that. Look at that. Amanda is cooking. I'm at the helm for once. You know, listen, Josh, we're going to have to talk to you about branding. And the Have Luggage brand is pretty high. It's kind of pristine because of Amanda and her Diet Dr. Pepper and what she brings to the table. And, you know, you be careful, buddy. Just be careful. You know, you're representing Have Luggage Will Travel. You can be notch up a bit. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you once again for being here. And I am going to leave you alone. And as I said, Tuesday we will have Moonlight Adventures here. And I don't know what we're going to get into with those guys. So I don't know if we're going to have straight up Josh and Chastity, or we're going to have Gunner and Peggy Sue. I don't know. I tell them they can do whatever they want. And hopefully it's as entertaining as I believe it's going to be. Those guys are awesome. They just got off the Symphony of the Seas, and they got the Royal Caribbean bug. They have announced to the world, they made a declaration that is their favorite cruise ship of all time. And I understand, man. I get it. If you've never been on an Oasis class ship for Royal Caribbean, they are something, man. They are just like a modern marvel. They're just incredible. You guys that think like the Mardi Gras is like just, you know, super breathtaking and just big and everything, it's not compared to one of those Oasis class ships. I hate to say that. I hope Carnival isn't listening. Nothing personal, Carnival. Just calling it like it is. Those ships are crazy, huge, and just super, super cool. And I get it. And if you've only been on Carnival and you go on one of those, you're gonna be blown away. You really are. And that's why Brian and Julie like Royal Caribbean so much. Yeah, we understand. So we're excited. We're being Oasis the Seas on December 4th. And our daughter Taylor was over for the baby shower. Her and my son-in-law Kyle, we were talking about that cruise. And I'm trying to talk them into booking another cruise. And I've thrown some options at them. And I'm trying to get them to consider one of the group cruises, the family reunion group cruise, or the How We Cruise group cruise. I tried selling them on that one with the New York angle. Taylor really wants to go to New York. And I told her, I said, there's a possibility of a New York stop trip in the middle of that one, or at the end of it, or the beginning of it. And she's kind of interested in that as well. But she's also a little bougie, my daughter, and she loves the idea of going on Celebrity with us in September. So they're definitely going to go on a cruise with us. And I told them to run out of time on the group cruises because you guys are going to have those sold out. So we love Royal, but we love Carnival and NCL too. Love debating, comparing, and discussing. I agree 100%, Julie. I'm just talking from just a construction, just a logistics, just a aesthetic, the build of the Oasis class ships, that they're breathtaking, man. You get up, you got that split deck, you're looking down in the middle of the ship, that promenade. You got those balconies that face the inside of the ship. I mean, what kind of wizardry is that? That's like, what is going on? It's modern engineering at its best, and it's really incredible. I really think that my perfect cruise would be like a Royal Oasis class ship with some of the Carnival, like a Carnival cruise director fun squad running the stuff, and then some of the live music that some of those NCL ships have. I've seen some of the vlogs from EECC, where they're showing the bands on some of those Norwegian ships. I think there was like I want to say it was a Journey cover band on one of those ships, and they're just awesome. They get these really good rock bands on those NCL ships. And but yeah, it's like, but that's the beauty of it. you have a reason to cruise on every different cruise line because they all do something a little better than the other guys, right? So every cruise line has its own little special thing that they do a little better than the other ones for the most part, with the exception of MSC. MSC seems to be like they're still trying to find their spot, right? MSC was big over in Europe for years, and then they're just now, I like to say, they are invading the U.S. market like a full-on invasion, and you're seeing them develop in front of your eyes in these other vlogs. Like I remember watching some of the early ones, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like they only play like YMCA, We Are Family, and Celebration. Those are only 3 songs I heard at anything in every vlog. Is like those are that's all the music they're playing, and they have like these really like strange I don't know, like their DJs are like kind of, you like the disco, we like the disco, all right. They were like really weird, kind of like out of, I don't know, just odd, right? And now in more newer MSC vlogs, I'm seeing they're becoming, they're finding themselves. They don't seem like it's forced or faked, or like it's actually they're getting their own personality for the U.S. market, right? I think what it is they just think, well, Americans, they want super huge portions of food, and they want music, and they want game shows, and they want this and want that, and it's hard to just try to do all that. Just come out of the gate and we're going to try to do all that, and without having any experience at doing it. I mean, even Carnival doesn't try to be Royal, and Royal doesn't try to be Carnival, but they borrow a little bit from each other, right? Those guys, MSC, they're trying to be everybody. So that's what's kind of crazy about them. But I will tell you this: their cruise ships, phenomenal. They're right up there with Royal Caribbean. They're probably, in a lot of cases, they're probably even nicer. And their private island that they're developing, they're still working on it, is incredible too. They have that private island in the Bahamas, and they stay there overnight, and they do fireworks and all kinds of stuff. And so it's cool. But as Julie was saying, they all have their little things that they're really good at, and hopefully, it continues that way. And like I've said before, I keep saying we want to do a Virgin Voyages cruise. We think that would be really neat to check them out. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say I'm glad to see our buddy Disco. Yeah, Eddie. Gotta get you a nice leisure suit. Get out there on the floor, break her down. But it's good to see my buddies from How We Cruise and Have Luxury Travel here, wasting time with me on a Sunday night, and I appreciate it when there's all this football to be had. And with that said, guys, I will talk to you on Tuesday. And if you didn't get a chance to see the part I mentioned about memberships and how we're not doing memberships, we're not doing membership content anymore, and we're not going to subscribe to memberships anymore as well, because we can't be members of everybody. That's in here if you want to revisit it in this recorded version, which will appear here in the next couple hours. So stay tuned. I will stay on top of the Ian development. It should be declared a hurricane here real soon, in the next day or so. I think once it hits land, it's going to be deemed a actual hurricane. So with that, we will talk to you on Tuesday. Bye.